In 2015, Mercedes-Benz launched the AMG GT Coupe, the first car to be built and designed completely by the AMG division. In India, we got the AMG GT S with just over 500 horsepower, and it even won the 2016 NDTV Car and Bike Sports Car of the Year award. So why then are we featuring it again? Well, if you haven't realized by now, it is a drop-top, a cabriolet version of the AMG GTS, but this is not a GTS, it's a GT C. So what that means is it's got more power on the bonnet, a wider rear end, and of course this lovely new front end. This is what Mercedes-Benz calls the Panamericana grille, inspired by the 300 SL that raced and won in the Carrera Panamericana races by the likes of Juan Manuel Fangio and Sir Stirling Moss in the early 1950s. But that's not the only exterior change that this car has. It also gets the flared rear wheel arches from the AMG GT-R and new cooling vents in the rear bumper that helps keep the rear mounted gearbox at ideal temperatures. And AMG have not just chopped the roof off. The windscreen too sits much lower and a much sharper angle than on the coupe. Incidentally, the roof opens or closes in only 11 seconds and up to speeds of 50 km/h. Which means that you could do this even while on the move, while making sure everyone around you in traffic gets an impressive view of all the drama involved. Let me quickly explain where the GTC lies in the whole grand scheme of things. For the AMG GT, Mercedes, especially in the coupe version, has 4 variants. The standard, the S, which is just over 500 horsepower, and incidentally the one we get in India, the C, and the R. Now the R is the hardcore version with a big wing at the back and the green paint job. Now the convertible only has the standard car and the C. And since we're driving the GT C Roadster today, let's tell you a little bit more about it. As I mentioned right in the beginning, GTC has a much wider rear end, which means you can put down the power a lot better. You also get electrically actuated rear wheel steering. This means that up to 100 km/h, the rear wheels turn up to 1.5 degrees in the opposite direction as the front wheels, effectively shortening the car's turning radius. Over 100 km/h though, the rear wheels turn in the same direction as the front ones, offering even more stability and quicker high-speed cornering. Both standard and the GTC come with a twin-turbo 4-litre V8. The GTC we are driving gets 550 brake horsepower, while the standard car gets a slightly more modest 470. Both cars are rear-wheel drive and get a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox, which is now much more responsive as compared to some of the older AMG units. Now the GT bit in the AMG GT name means Grand Tourer, which means this has to be a comfortable car. Now the coupe is, you can actually use it every day, and in fact there are some people in India who do use it every day. This on the other hand is slightly stiffer than the coupe because it's a convertible, of course, which means you have no roof to connect the front and the rear of the car on the top, which means you need a slightly stiffer chassis. Now in comfort mode, which is what we're in now, it's quite nice, but when you put it into Sport Plus, the car does get really stiff, and you do feel every little bump and dimple on the road, which means driving it in India might be slightly more uncomfortable than you would have expected. That said, who really cares? We're in an open-top, front-engine GT sports car. All you need to do is floor the gas, go around a few corners with the roof down, and enjoy it. The interior of the AMG GT Roadster is as cool as the one on the coupe. Of course, a million miles of sunny sky have replaced the fighter jet cocooning feel of the coupe, but the quality of everything is still top-notch. Although we have been driving around in the GT C Roadster all day today, sadly this is not the version coming to India. Instead, Mercedes-Benz will only be bringing in the standard base version of the AMG GT Roadster. That's the one with the 470 bhp. Expect prices to be around the 2 crore 75 lakh rupee mark and a late 2017 launch. And now that I have already driven it halfway around the world, I genuinely can't wait to drive it on the streets in India.